Hey y'all, welcome to the cottage. Hello, hello, welcome to mini readings. How you guys doing this evening? Happy Thursday evening. Welcome everybody. If you would like to get on the list, you should hurry because I only have a few spots available. I'm doing a shorter mini reading night than normal, so I only have a few openings left. If you're already on the list and I've gotten your money, you should be on, your first name should be right here on this list. And if you have not gotten a confirmation email from me and you think you booked, you might want to go back and double check and make sure you clicked all the way through the ordering process. That being said, let's get started. Let's clear some energy, get some neutral ground going, neutral energy. Give me some neutral, unbiased energy. All right. All right. We're getting ready to get started. Gina is up first, and I have her question here. Let's see. All right, yes, there we go. All right, let me go to Gina's first question. Or Gina has, okay. Here we go. Let me timestamp for Gina too. How's everybody doing? Here we go. I'm gonna pull up the chat. Well, hey Gabby, how you doing? Hey Steph, how you doing? What's up? There's the chat. I couldn't see the chat. All right. Hey Mega Mini Gun Pro, how you doing? Good to see you guys. What's up? All right, so let's read for Gina. She is up first. Here we go. Let's read for Gina Boo. All right, Gina Boo. What is guiding the young Sag's behavior towards me? I want to know. Why is he showing up? Does he want to build something real, or is he just needing my help? I love you big too, Gina. That's very sweet of you. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, that's okay. That one's okay, Steph. That's Joseph. Hello, by the way. Steph, I get why you did that, Steph, because we had a scare earlier today. Master of Strumpets is Joseph. He's cool as fuck. He's the most non-Pisces you ever met in your life. Hello, Joseph. You're good, love bug. What's up? There he is. He's good, but like he's crazy as heck in a good way. He's our kind of crazy, Steph. He's our kind of crazy. He's good. He's one of the good ones. He's a regular. That's Joseph. All right, Gina, let's see about this Pisces. Gina, let's see about this Sagittarius for you. Let's see why this Sagittarius is coming towards you. Why is this Sagittarius coming toward, but Steph, thank you. I promise you, Joseph don't get weird. He's so not, he will not, you can't, he's cool. Anyway, here we go. Tell me about this Sag toward Gina. Hey, Karen, how are you? Karen Q8U2K, or Q. How you doing? Here we go. Tell me about this Sag toward Gina. What's his motivation? What's his motivation for coming toward our friend Gina? The lovely, beautiful Scorpio woman. Let's see. I'm here for that. Here we go. What's the Sag's motivation? Give me the Sag's motivation. The young Sag. Give me his motivation toward Gina. Give me his motivation toward Gina. Give me his motivation toward Gina. What's his motivation toward Gina? His motivation toward Gina. What's the Sagittarius motivation toward Gina? Let's see what we got. Gina, I'm going to clarify, but I don't like what I'm looking at here. All right. I got King of Pentacles reversed. That was the first card out. That's usually somebody needs some financial help. All right. Moon in the upright. That was next. I don't want you to know everything that I'm doing and why. Why is the Queen of Swords here in the reverse? Aside. There is an aside, Gina. There is an aside to this thing. His primary reason is that he needs your help. Now, he does have feelings for you, all right? And, you know, he sees you guys building something together here with I got the Four of Wands, Three of Cups, and the Seven of Wands in reverse. The Seven of Wands in reverse speaks to becoming emotionally vulnerable, all right? Or, you know, having emotional vulnerability, being open. That's open from a standpoint of emotional vulnerability, right? And, you know, we have the Three of Cups. I mean, that can be anything from, you know, union. It's good when it's in the upright. Union, reunion. I have fun with you. We have a ball together. Four of Wands is that 11-11 relationship card, okay? So I will say this. I think his motivation for coming toward in this way, all right, is twofold. I will point out to you, Gina, that the first one had to do with money. Let's see, what's his first motivation? What is there a primary motivation? Is there a primary motivation here? Is there a primary motivation? Is there a primary motivation? Give me one card for Gina. What's the primary motivation? What's number one on the motivation list? What's number one on the motivation list, please? What's number one on the motivation? Well, it was neither of those. It was neither of those. He likes being close to you so that intimacy is more, I don't know, what's the word I'm trying to say? Convenient, but I don't want to use the word convenient because I don't get that. He just says, you know, the great thing about this is we're closer together, so intimacy is much, you know, right, much easier. The secondary motivation behind that is money, just so you know. So, yeah, your side is a little bit multi-layered, but, you know, that's what we got. That's what we got. That's what we got. Joseph, I just got your thing. I think you're going to be after Alicia. I just got your question. I'm going to add you to the list real quick. But that's what I got, my love. That's what I got. And Gina, as always, thank you. All right. Next up is Tracy. Let's get Tracy's timestamp real quick. Tracy booked advice. Let me get my oracles. I use two different oracle decks that I like for this part, for when I do advice. I like Moonology and I like the Cosmic Cat. So we're going to do both of those. Gonna do both of those. Let's see what's up. Let's see here. And Tracy is a Pisces, Sun, Gemini, Moon, Sagittarius rising. Give me a Moonology for Miss Tracy. Give me a Moonology for Miss Tracy. Give me a Moonology for Tracy, please. Give me a Moonology for Tracy. All right. There is something going on energetically. You may be trying to manifest something or work towards something. There may be some sort of a goal or something. This is telling you that the energy is gaining momentum or moving forward in momentum. All right. Anything else from Moonology? A new start is coming. Okay. So there you go. I don't know if this is a new job. I don't know if this is you moving somewhere or there's a new person coming into your life that you've not met yet. But this is all about aces, new things. Let's go to Moonology. I mean, that was Moonology. We're going to Cosmic Cat. Let's go to Cosmic Cat for you, Tracy Boo. Journey Mignon, what's up? Hi, Eris. Good to see you. Give me a Cosmic Cat message for Tracy. Learning to, this is so important. I'm going to take both of these, all right? Independence, learning to be independent and on your own. You know, that's the best place, okay? Because if we're looking for love or whatever, it's better for us to walk into something whole. That's much more healthy, and we're a lot more likely to connect with somebody else in a similar energy and have a better opportunity for something healthy here. And then knowing what to release and let go. Very interesting this came out when it did. You may know this, Tracy, we're in the midst of big eclipse energy, right? And we've got a major one coming up here in just a few days on the Virgo Pisces axis, and our Pisces sun. This particular eclipse is about this very topic, releasing what no longer serves, right? And so there is that, all right? So, you know, interesting that this card would be right here next, receiving. You know, sometimes we have to let go of stuff in order to be able to receive the better stuff. So I think there's a lot going on here for you, right? That's what I got. That's what I got. All right. Next up is Angela. You booked with me, Eris? Good deal. Good deal. Like I said, I have a little bit shorter of a list tonight, so there's not much availability. So I definitely recommend that you, we got Gabrielle. Gabrielle is up next. I thought so too, Steph. I thought that was a really nice message. I thought that was a very nice message. Oh, are you Gabrielle? Okay. And you are a Saggy Wadgy. Hey, Britos. How you doing, sweets? Good to see ya. How you doing? All right. Let's go back to the oracles. Let's see what's up for Gabrielle. Gabrielle. You're Angela? Okay, yep. We'll get you in a second. Give me Gabrielle. Give me Moonology for 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 Gabrielle. A personal issue reaches resolution. So that's kind of interesting because here we are at the culmination of this very, very... Oh, there you are. Hey, Gabby. How you doing? I love the name Gab. I love Gabrielle, and I think Gabby is such a pretty little nickname for the name Gabrielle. But anyway, Gabrielle, here's what I'm getting. A personal issue reaching resolution. You know, the thing about this thing, we're in this eclipse energy. So, yeah, a lot of things are coming to a resolution, resolve. And sometimes this is good, Okay, and sometimes this is unpleasant. I mean, it's always good because this is truth coming to you, clarity, and something coming. 27, 28. Thank you, Steph. So yeah, it's in about a week, and it's a lunar eclipse. So I think that, if I'm not mistaken, that would be a new moon. So the new moon would be in Virgo, if I'm not mistaken. Because if it's a new moon, it's going to be Virgo. If it's a full moon, it's going to be a full moon in Pisces. It kind of depends. But if it's a lunar eclipse, I do believe it would be a new moon, but I may be wrong about that. At any rate, back to your reading, Gabrielle, about a personal issue reaching resolution. It can be tough but we finally get the clarity that we need, and then we can make decisions based on clarity, resolution, resolve, acceptance, and then we can move forward. And sometimes it's tough and sometimes it's great, right? Resolution can be you finally get your answer that somebody is not interested romantically. It can be you finally get your answer that somebody is interested in romantic. It can be you finally get that job offer, or you didn't get that promotion. I mean, it's just something that you're waiting to come to resolution on that finally reaches resolution. All right. So you're not going to be in limbo too much longer, Gabby. That's the good news. Let's go to Cosmic Cat. Let's go to Cosmic Cat. Cosmic Cat for Gabby. Cosmic Cat for Gabby. Cosmic Cat for Gabby, please. Cosmic Cat. Courage. I love this. What is it that makes your heart go pitter patter right now? What is it that you feel passionate about? Your dream, your goal, that may seem a stretch, that may seem impossible. Don't be afraid to take the leap of faith. You'll never know if you don't take the leap of faith. Sometimes when we take a leap of faith into the unknown, right? Sometimes we don't know, and sometimes we go splat. But the good thing about us is that we can pick up and try again, a different way or a different avenue, right? You also have embrace the unknown, right? Embrace the unknown. It's in Pisces. Okay, so it'll be a full moon. So it is very much about releasing on the 27th, 28th. So have the courage to take the leap and embrace the unknown. Okay, so because a lot of times the unknown involves getting out of your comfort zone, and baby, that's where the magic happens. That's what I got. Hope that helps. All right. Let's go to Angela. You are up, Angela. You are up. And Angela also booked an oracle. And let's see here. Let me get my Moonology again. She is a Capricorn 6th house, Sagittarius 5th house. Leo rising. All right. I love Leo risings. I always smile when I get to have somebody that I read for somebody with Leo rising. One of my dear friends, may he rest in peace. Shout out to Uncle L. Leo rising. So yes, let's read for you. Let me timestamp for you. Here we go. Give me Moonology. Give me a Moonology for Angel. Give me a Moonology for Angel. Give me Moonology for Angel. Give me Moonology for Angel. You're a Capricorn sun. I'm a Capricorn moon. Okay. So you have a reminder here. Getting still. Both of these cards are about getting still. All right. Meditation, contemplation. You resonate with your Sag stellium. That is not uncommon to resonate with your stellium for sure. This is a reminder about getting still, all right? Sitting with yourself, meditating, contemplating, surrendering to the divine. This is about getting still in solitude and sitting with yourself, And because that's when the spiritual magic happens. All right, that's when the spiritual magic, and I'm not talking about hocus pocus magical rituals, and I'm a ritual person, don't get me wrong, I do rituals, but that's not what this is about. This is inner work all day long, right? So a reminder of the importance of meditation. Funny that card would come up. I just did a video about the importance of meditation the other day on Patreon. So, and I talked about all the benefits. I touched on it briefly. All right, let's go to the Cosmic Cat tarot or Oracle deck. Cosmic Cat. Cosmic Cat. You never know what's lurking. So this is kind of like being prepared for change. And it's a reminder the only constant in our lives is change, right? And just to understand that we're really never, control is such an illusion. People think they're in control of their lives. Nobody's in control of a damn thing, right? And so it's about embracing the unknown, knowing that you can't always predict what's around the corner, and just be mindful that that's there. Allow your nurture. It's also, there is a reminder here to ramp up your self-care, nurturing yourself, and allow yourself to receive nurturing from others too. It's a lot of times we can become so caught up in giving of ourselves to others, and that can be beautiful as long as we don't exhaust ourselves, right? But learn to receive just as much. That's equally important. It's equally important. All right. So that's what I got. That's what I got. It's funny how different placements within our chart, you were saying, Angel, that, you resonate deeply with your stellium, which is not at all uncommon, not at all. And I get that. Different times in my life, I resonate with different parts of my chart. There's times I resonate a lot with my Gemini sun and rising. I resonate more consistently with my moon sign, which is Capricorn, but I do sometimes, I have a 12th house stellium, and sometimes I'll resonate a lot with Pisces, and I have a Pisces midheaven too. So not sure if it's because of that 12th house stellium or because of the Pisces midheaven. So it's really interesting that you would mention that, because that's not all that uncommon. One thing for sure, we see a heavy, when we see a stellium like that, we see a heavy focus in our lives on that area of life, both the house, more so the house than the sign. I know you said it's a Sag stellium, fifth house. Okay, yeah, you're going to resonate a lot with fifth house themes. And a lot depends on the planets there and how they're aspected in your chart and stuff. But there's likely a lot of life lessons around the fifth house. Funny that I would get about nurturing yourself and allowing yourself to receive, because the fifth house is about pleasure and fun. So very interesting that would come out. But yeah, anytime you have a stellium, you've got your life is you have a heavy focus on those themes. People think that an empty house, hey Robert, I'll put you last. People think that an empty house, a lot of people say, well, I got an empty 7th house, I guess I'm never going to get married. No, that is not true. It just means there's not a lot of challenges in that area. So sometimes an empty house is like a secret little blessing. It's like, thank God, right? Thank you, Steph. I got you, Robert, man. I got you. So this is Stacy. And Stacy is a Cottage regular at this point. Speaking of Saggies, Stacy is a Sag. All right, so let's see what we've got. The greatest, oh my God, look at this. Stacy says, I am actually with the greatest guy in the world. I am really happy. God, Stephanie, Stacy, I don't know why I keep saying Stephanie. Stacy, I have been reading for you for probably off and on, right? You and I have go back 5 years or so. There you are, beautiful. Stacy, you and I go back probably at least 5.5 years, because I remember where I was whenever I would be doing your readings and where I was living. And I remember what house I was in, and that helps me to track back how long I've known you. And for me to read that, like, that means I'm so happy for you that you are happy and in a relationship. But anyway, so you say, but when I see these mini reads every so often, I just got to check in on the X and the downgrade. Yes, just because I want to see how it's going, because I can't believe it's still going. I can't believe it either. I can't believe it either. Because you know, Stacy, you and I have been reading about this dynamic between Beavis and Butthead over there for a while. And there I have consistently seen that thing as being nothing better than just a glorified shit show, right? And I can't believe they've made it. I can't believe they've made it this long. I can't believe it either. But let's check in on Beavis and Butthead and see what we can find out. Let's check in on Beavis and Butthead, the Virgo Pisces dynamic over there. I still contend he's the only one over there with a brain, such as it is. You know, we have our thoughts about that, Stacy, but you know what I'm saying, right? Give me this dynamic between the Virgo Pisces. Give me this dynamic between the Virgo Pisces. Give me this dynamic between the Virgo Pisces. Give me this dynamic between the Virgo and the Pisces. Give me this dynamic. Give me an update energetically. How are these two doing? How are these two doing? How are these two doing? The Virgo Pisces thing. The Virgo Pisces dynamic. How are these two doing? How are these two doing? The Virgo and the Pisces. How are these two doing? 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 Give me more. A lot of different ways to take that card. I need some context. Tell me how these two are doing. Tell me how these two are doing. It is rocky. It is rocky. Tell me more about that card right there. She literally is ruling the roost here, for what it's worth, okay? She's ruling the roost. I normally don't see gender, but I've got a king and a queen here. The Queen of Wands is what fell out, and I literally heard she's the one in control. She controls him, and he allows it. And he came in as the King of Cups. I do think he loves her. It's real interesting because the next card after that is the Two of Swords and then the Judgment card. And that's where I'm getting rocky energy from. You know, the Two of Swords is disagreements. It can be lies. It can be we're not well suited. It can be disagreements it's blockages, okay? It can be deception. It can just be we're not right for each other. It's the opposite of peace, however you want to frame that, right? It's the opposite of peace, and it's probably what this looks like to me is like constant conflict between these two, okay? And what's interesting is the card behind that, the Judgment card. That's like a reconnect or a reconciliation or resurrection. What that tells me is with those two cards there is they are in a constant state of flux of, you know, having to work through challenges or, you know, we can stay together. We can work this out. Okay. And it's kind of like with the Two of Swords here, they can't see the forest for the trees. All right. Okay, wow, yeah. There is an intensity here. All right. They mirror the hell out of each other. That's why the Two of Swords is here. And what this is telling me, Stacy, is that they literally trigger each other. Okay. And sometimes when you have an intense connection like that, and you've got the mirroring going on, and then you've got these two people that both have these issues, and we've talked about those, right? I don't know what the situation is, if either of them are still using, or in active addiction or whatever, but we both know they've got a lot of unhealed wounds. That we know, regardless of whether they're in active addiction. And it's hard for me to believe that they're not in active addiction, okay, based on their history and the fact that they're still together. Because usually when you got two addicts that are together, if the only way they can get clean is to do this and never see each other again, right? And the fact that they're still together makes me feel pretty certain that they're probably both actively, using, right? They mirror each other and they trigger each other, and it's constant conflict, okay? And there is just such a lack of boundaries between these two. Hey, K Styles, what's up? There's such a lack of boundaries between these two. It's just really, I don't see them splitting up, but I do see this being very unhealthy, okay? It's kind of interesting because they do have that intense connection. This is one of those things where this is a huge, huge opportunity disguised in chaos for people to learn to get it. This is the universe trying to get someone's attention, right? And they are not understanding the assignment. And yeah, we got anxiety, we've got sleepless nights, maybe even physical illness, all right? And so, but I do get that she's the one that drives the car and he lets her. She's the one in control. It feels chaotic. It just feels chaotic. I don't see them splitting up. We have seen that before. I didn't pull that they were, I mean, here's the thing. They're in and out. Here's what wouldn't shock me with this whole thing, what I just saw. It would not shock me if there are times that she says, I'm going to my mama's, and she spends the night over there, stays there for a week, and then they get back together. It's that kind of bullshit. It's this back and forth mess, right? And so it could be that one of those times that they split up, it catches. I doubt it, but it is anything but healthy. Anything but healthy, right? And so I'm just getting more of the same stuff, right? If I had to guess, I think the only thing that keeps them together is they're both addicted to whatever they're addicted to, and they're addicted to the chaos. That's what I'm going to go with. I know, right, Stacy? I'm curious. Let me see something. Do we see active addiction in this thing? Do we see active addiction in this thing? I see active addiction in this thing. Let's just get nosy, Stacy. Do we see active addiction in this thing? What do we get? There's one card. Well, there's two cards that would come out a certain way if there's active addiction. There's two cards that could speak to that, and one of them would come out upright, the other one would come out reversed. So we're going to see if we see that, Stacy. Let's see if we see that. Do we see active addiction here? Do we see active addiction? Do we see active addiction? Two of Wands in the reverse, World reversed, Seven of Wands in reverse. I don't see that. There's something that keeps them coming back toward each other. So what I get is this. At a minimum, this has got to be a huge trauma bond, all right? It's kind of like, even though it's a mess, they keep going back to it with the World card in reverse. They just can't close it out. There's been a lot of betrayal. I will tell you that. I'm seeing a lot of betrayal between these two. That's another interesting thing. I did not see active addiction. Now, let me just say this, and does that mean it's not here? I didn't see it, so I would generally say no, but I would leave that open. That's what I got. I hope that helps. And Stacy, you know, you don't have to book a mini reading to come say hey. And I know you're happy. You need a romance reading like you need a hole in the head. You're happy and doing well. But it is always a pleasure to see you and hear from you. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I mean, and you know, you're trying to co-parent with this person, right? Good. And as always, I appreciate you, Stacy. I do. I very much do. Oh, thank you for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. This is Alicia. That is so cool. I'm going to read. Is that you, Enigma? Or is that, no, that's Nina. Enigma is Nina. This is Alicia. And Alicia, I got to tell you something that you made my day. And you don't even realize it. I mean, I know that you probably know what you said to me meant a lot, but you have no idea how much. I'm going to get to your question, but I'm going to say this first, Alicia. I'm going to read after the question. She said, talk about people that go back. That's you? That's you. Okay. Alicia said, I was talking about this very part of my channel beginnings the other day, and I just waxed very... I got all up in my feels in the most gracious way towards this man that you mentioned. You said, I just wanted to share. I may cry. Okay, I just wanted to share that I've been around you. I've been around since you first started at a table in your dining room. I remember that. Scared to death. I used to have anxiety before I went live. You may remember that. And then you said, Rich Lop recommended you. And I have been following you ever since. I love how much you've grown. And I have not talked to Rich in forever. But Rich believed in me when I had like 10 subscribers. I had a little bit of history with Rich, but he really didn't know me that well. I had been a mod for him. That was it. And I sent him a video thinking I just wanted feedback because I had tremendous respect for the man, right? And next thing I know, he had shared it, and he's the reason that I hit 1,000 subscribers. And I will always feel a special place in my heart for Rich. Always. And I got to get back in touch with Rich, if nothing else, just to say hello, because he's a really good guy. I respect Rich a lot. Anyway, so you brought back a really nice memory, Alicia. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And it gave me a chance to publicly say that, and I doubt he'll see that, but maybe if he does, then big shout out, Rich. You'll never know how much I appreciate that. All right, because we're coming up on 6 years. In 9 days, I'll have my 6-year anniversary here on YouTube. Can you believe that? I've been full-time at this. This has been my full-time profession for 5.5 years. It's the longest job I've ever had anywhere. Yeah, and I was telling somebody that privately the other day, and I was talking about the respect that I have for Rich. And so, yeah. Anyway, let's get to your actual reading. Let's get to your actual reading. You are a Virgo. What is currently unfolding in my love life that I need to be aware of? Let's take a look, love. Let's take a look. Let's see what we can find out. Are you dealing with anyone right now, Alicia, or are you kind of blind spot? Just blind spot love, whatever's out there. We can do whatever you want. Let's take a look. The K-Styles, it feels like life before and life after as far as this channel. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. All right. Let's see what's going on in love for Alicia, the Virgo. What's going on in love for Alicia? Recently started seeing with someone. All right, tell me about love for Alicia. 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 Tell me about love. Are you dealing with any fears? Fears? It's okay if you are. We'll talk about them. But I had the Nine of Swords flip while I was shuffling. Usually the flippers and the jumpers are telling me stuff, right? We'll talk about that. We'll delve into that a little bit. Because love can be scary, right? It's okay. It's all right. That's why it's in the cards, because sometimes that happens, right? Let's take a look. I literally got the card of abandonment. Fears of abandonment. She says, everyone has left, no one stays. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. We're going to get into that a little bit, Alicia. We'll talk about it. Yeah, you've been hurt. Is that him? Okay, so I get good vibes around you, dude. I get some emotional maturity from this man. I want to set that on the table in the beginning, all right? And I think he's got good solid intentions with the Magician card here. I think he comes in very unassuming, which is nice because that's like neutral. In that you're coming in with a clean slate. He's not assuming anything. He's just going to get to know you, okay? Which is nice, all right? I want to talk about you, though. I want to talk about you. And I think, because the first card out is I've been hurt so many times, Auntie Karen. Ten of Swords. You've been betrayed. You have been betrayed. No doubt about it. The Death card after that, you know, there is just no other way for me to say this. Alicia, betrayal hurts and it sucks. And it's hard. And it hits all of us differently. So I'm not going to sit, I will never say I know how you feel. Because I don't. Or I know how you felt. Because I don't. And so I don't want you to think that I'm going to ever think or even say that, because I can't know that, right? But I will say this much. I know when I felt like these cards right here, it was horrible. It was a special hell. And it often, this Ten of Swords, and it often leads to this right here. And here's what's interesting. This was my flipper card earlier, and it came out in the regular cards later. This Nine of Swords was the flipper card whenever I said, have you had fears? This is the card I was looking at. This is the card that is often associated, and understand the reason it's fear-based is because we're in the mind. Nine of Swords. Swords is air, which is the mind, right? And we have fears, and this is the fear of abandonment. okay? It is also the pain of abandonment, okay? Because when that happens, especially repeatedly, we start to say, what's wrong with me? Why am I not good enough? And it's understandable why after repeated betrayals we can come to this place. It's understandable, okay? So it's okay that you have felt or maybe even feel this way, all right? Nobody here is judging you. If anything, we're saying we get it, okay? Now, fear is actually not the biggest enemy that you think it is. Your fear is actually your helping hand, okay? Good. I know my worth now. That's good. But let's talk about this fear, okay? Let's talk about this fear. Your fear is talking to you, and that's your higher self and your inner self, and those, things that we often hide from ourselves, picking out and saying, hey, I need some attention. And that's okay. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, don't be afraid, he's fine. That's not what this conversation is about. This conversation is to tell you to sit down and make friends with that fear. Sit with it. And talk to that fear like it's a person sitting outside of you if you need to, right? Why are you here? What are you trying to show me? What is it that is rooted beyond this? Because the fear is the symptom, okay? The unhealed wound is the problem. And it gets real gnarly in this dynamic because we have trust issues as well that goes along with that fear, right? And I want to reframe trust for you that maybe will give you a starting point of something to work on, okay? And it is this. Trusting another person, the first person you've got to learn to trust is yourself. And I'm not talking about trusting your intuition to make sure you never get into a mess again. No. And there is that, okay? But I'm going to go deeper than that. The trust in yourself is when your self-esteem and your self-love is so solid that you know that no matter what happens to you, you got you. You are your own best friend. You're the one that's going to be with you from the day you are born to the day you die. Your bestie is in the mirror. That's who's got your back. And you've got to trust yourself. You've got to trust Alicia to have your back. Because at the end of the day, Alicia's who's always had your back, right? And, we see good cards around this guy. We do. But, things can go wacko, right? And so I want you to rest easy in not trusting him. Here's where your security comes from. Here's where your security comes from. At the end of the day, dude's going to do what dude's going to do. But at the end of the day, Alicia got me. I ain't got to worry. Because when all else fails, Alicia's got me. She's always been here for me. She'll always be here for me. And she's never going to put me in a situation where I abandon myself. I settle for somebody that doesn't treat me right. I ignore red flags. She's never going to let that happen to me again because now I know my worth, right? And so you do hedge your bets, right? There are no guarantees, but you do hedge your bets, okay? And so at the end of the day, I want you to reframe who you put your trust into. And I'm not saying don't trust this guy, but if you trust Alicia the most, if your trust list, number one is Alicia, as far as who's got you, you're going to be good. You're going to be solid, right? Hey, Tracy, you are welcome. You're going to be solid. And I'm not going to sit and say that that's going to make your heart impenetrable if you ever have betrayal. It may, betrayal is never going to be easier or easy. It's not pleasant and it can hurt. But at the end of the day, when your own self-esteem and self-worth and your trust in yourself is solid, then those disappointments are not so bad that they're utterly debilitating. Because when those other things are not solid, our self-worth, our self-esteem, when they're not intact, then when we go through heartbreak, we can become debilitated. Can't work, can't eat, can't sleep, can't function, just a bundle of nerves, But when you get those things in order, you can love and you can trust. And at the end of the day, you can go through those challenges and they not put you to the same place. I don't know if this makes sense or helps you, but that's what I see here. And I would rather in this reading, because you asked me what's unfolding in your love life. It's a big lesson, and I think we've hit on the big lesson here. I would rather, instead of reading about this guy and saying yay or nay, which I saw some good cards, but I would rather focus on what your learning experience is that overall is going to improve your love life, whether it's with this current guy or in the future. That's going to be the game changer. And I hope that's what I've done for you, Alicia. I hope that's what I've done. You'll have to let me know. Hey, Ionica. Ionic. I don't have any irritating demons. The demons I work with are my homies, but I get what you're saying. Thank you for that. You're welcome. I hope that was helpful for you. I hope that was helpful. And Alicia, what we just talked about, that's a way to do shadow work, where I talked about sitting with that fear, asking why, starting to dig below the surface, right? That's actually shadow work, and that's healing. And I'm going to circle back once again to Rich Lopp. And Steph, you may not even know this. He is a lot of the reason that I realized healing was smart and the thing to do, because he focuses on that so much. Heal before you get into another connection. And that prompted an entire library of videos about emotional healing and a deep, deep dive over the last 6 years. Or really 7, because I've known Rich for 7-8 years. He hadn't known me that long, but I've known him because I watched his readings back in the day, right? So really funny that would all circle back. Really funny that would all circle back. Anyway, big shout out to Rich. Yeah. All right. Next up is Mr. Joseph. Joseph the Strumpet Master. You've been doing those things for 6 years now. Good. Actually, I did a fear. One of my videos on Patreon is about fear. But yeah. All right. Just whatever comes out. Are you turning me loose, Joseph? Are you turning me loose? Thank you, Steph. Appreciate you. I appreciate you have been equally paramount in mine, whether you realize that or not. All right, Mr. Joseph, let's get started on your reading. Joseph, the most Aquarius-looking Pisces I ever met. My raggedy ass is here. All right, Mr. Joseph. He says he's a Pisces, but I think he's an Aquarius in disguise. That's my take, Steph. Whatever comes out for Joseph the Pisces. Whatever comes out for Joseph, what does Joseph need to know? Joseph, I may pull you some oracles. Hey, Catalina. What does Joseph need to know? 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 What? I'm going to see. Like, what? Am I right about that? Or is that just a mess? Let me see. Joseph, I feel like you've got a lot of options coming around you romantically. This is, boy, what a plot twist. Here we go. Joseph, what a plot twist. Here's what I get. I get that you have kind of taken a break from the romance department altogether. Altogether. You're like, the timing is off, something's off, these hoes ain't loyal. Okay, the Emperor in reverse, the Eight of Cups in the upright, that's a card of walking away, turning your back on romance. I don't think this is permanent, if I know you. And the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, I think this is, in your mind, this is a timing thing. It's just not worth it. Five of Wands in reverse. What is that the vibe right now? Are we all in the same, are we all synced up? At any rate, the King of Cups was your jumper. And that came out in the upright. That was the first jumper. Okay? The King of Cups. And I kind of looked at that and I said, that's Joseph. And I literally heard in my heart, you did take a break. Here's what I heard before I got all this other stuff. The King of Cups came out first. And I heard this. So much love, and yet no one to give it to. No one gets it. Because nobody has jumped through the right hoops and passed your standards, and that's okay. That's okay. So much love and no one to give it to. King of Cups, right? He came out by himself. And the King of Cups is many things, and he is a wonderful card. In the upright, he has emotional maturity. He has emotional integrity. And as fate would have it, even though the Wheel of Fortune in reverse it's still, time keeps moving. The wheel keeps moving. I got all these aces, all these new people, all right? And I got a King of Wands, maybe not. But, so it's kind of like, this is crazy. It's kind of like once you close the door, maybe love comes calling then. And what I got was this, the rest of the story. You then got some advice, okay? With the Ace of Cups in reverse and the Queen of Swords in the reverse. And I want to talk about that, all right? Make sure you keep that King of Cups in the upright. What do I mean by that? Make sure, because I see love coming towards you. That's a given. That's a given. And I do feel like there's somebody here that you're going to be with for me to get this advice. And the advice is this. Make sure that you don't deplete your cup. Make sure you're still taking care of the man in the mirror, the King of Cups, right? Because here's what happens. When we exhaust ourselves energetically, emotionally, because we're giving so much of ourselves to, and this can be even outside of love, okay? This happens. Hidden anger, resentments, buried anger, buried resentments, and then we can become a bitter Betty. And if there's anything I never want to see out of you, Joseph, because you're such a cool dude, I never want to see you have that happen. And, Pisceans, they love so deeply. And that's beautiful, okay? But the challenge for Pisces is to not overgive of themselves toward others, whether it's romantically or otherwise, right? And then if you guys aren't careful, then this happens, right? So keep this thing in balance, all right? Keep your head. Keep your head, my friend. I do feel like love is a coming. Yes, yes. Maintain self and don't sabotage. Yes. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. You always got to take care of yourself and make sure that your own cup is full before you can fill somebody else's, right? I'm sitting here looking at the Queen of Wands on the bottom of the deck. The King of Wands is right here. So we definitely have this, partnership vibe that's coming up in your cards. All right. I don't think you know this person now, but I definitely feel like they're coming, and maybe sooner than you think. And I kind of think the closing of the barn door, if you will, even though you said it's temporarily, I kind of think that worked a little magic. I think that's working a little magic. And I don't think that's why you did it, but that's just how things go sometimes, right? I'm going to pull oracles for you too, Joseph. I felt like I needed to, but that's your tarot message. But I am going to go a little bit deeper and pull some oracles for you. Just cause. Just cause. I hope that's okay. What does Moonology need to tell Joseph today? We've got an eclipse card. Expect powerful change. Queen of Wands month and day range contains my birthday. Wow! Expect powerful change. And what's crazy, this is referring to the eclipse energy, and we're literally in an eclipse. And what's crazy, Joseph, is it is on the Virgo Pisces axis. Steph just looked up the date. We have a Pisces full moon on around the 27th or 28th, and today's the 20th. So I think you're right here at it. I will tell you this, Joseph, regarding if you're, working with eclipse energy and, energetically and manifesting and all that, it's not a good time to work with energy. There you go. It's so the best way to navigate, and that's a good word for it, eclipse energy. Remember this, eclipse energy, all the rules of full moon and new moon, manifesting and releasing goes out the window. The best thing to do in eclipse energy, okay, is to just kind of batten down the hatches, ramp up your meditation, make sure you're getting enough rest, because eclipse energy can be very, very exhausting, and we've been in eclipse energy, because eclipse energy lasts for 30 days before and after, the lunar event, whether it's a full or a new moon, right? And so I would say this is a time to just allow whatever comes to come and allow whatever leaves to leave, and just be very, very flow. All right. I want to pull you a cosmic cat too. Cosmic cat. Stay with the process. Stay focused. Stay focused on your own journey for sure. So I like that. I like that for you, Joseph. I hope that helped. You're welcome. The best way to describe eclipse energy is chaos. And it can be very tiring. This particular eclipse, this Pisces full moon, is very focused on, things that are not needing to be there being released, right? But I hope that helps you, love bug. All right. Oh, always, Joseph. Always. This is Kay Styles that is up next. Joseph, as always, I appreciate you. It's always good to read for you, and I appreciate you more than you know. All right, Kyle is up next. Let me timestamp for Mr. Kyle. All right, Kyle says, he's got a 2 question. Kyle is a Taurian, Taurus. How does Emily the Leo feel about me? She's a crush I met at a conference in Vegas. We both hit it off in Vegas. I was there recently. What was it? A week ago, almost a week ago, this past weekend. She's a crush I met at a conference in Vegas. We hit it off in Vegas and are both on social media, so I flirt with her there. And then we got a business question. Will Daniel, the Aquarius, and I's nonprofit be successful? I feel like I'm left out of it somewhere when we started this up together. We'll see what's up. Let's first look at Emily the Leo for you, Kyle, and see what she's feeling. What she's feeling toward you right now. What does Emily the Leo feel toward Kyle, the Taurus? Hi, Sarah. What does Emily the Leo feel toward Kyle the Taurus? True, Steph, true. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. All right. Give me Emily toward Kyle. Emily the Leo toward Kyle the Taurus. 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 So we have the Chariot, we have the 8 of Swords, and the 10 of Wands. She feels like this is moving faster than she's comfortable with. I kind of get the impression. In fact, some of my jumpers suggested this, Kyle. She may feel like you're coming on a little bit too fast or too strong. She's very up in her head, and she feels like this is a lot. This is a lot heavier than what she really wants. She feels like you guys are in 2 different places. She is looking more for friendship, believe it or not. Okay? I have the Friend card and I have the 9 of Pentacles. So she's not looking at this as a relationship, at least anytime soon. And she feels like you're kind of rushing her. I saw that in some of the jumpers, okay? She feels like you're pushing towards a relationship, and she feels stressed about it, believe it or not. And even the 10 of Wands suggests that. The 8 of Swords, her up in her head, all right? And she may, tell me more on the 8 of Swords. Tell me more about what's in her head. Tell me more about what's in her head. You know, she says I may have misled him because she said, you know, she says I do find him attractive. She's talking about you. She says, I find Kyle attractive. She said, but I'm not in a good place for a relationship right now. So I don't think it's personal. I don't think it's you. I think this is a timing thing for you, Kyle. But I think she's really just looking for friendship. And she may be lightly flirting. And it could be just want some of that harmless flirting, you know, kind of thing, which can be confusing sometimes, and I get that, all right? She said, I should have thought this through more. But 2 of Cups in reverse again. She says, I just don't want a relationship. I'm just not looking for a boyfriend or anything romantic. With the 2 of Cups here in reverse. And I've got the 9 of Pentacles. That's the card of being single or wanting to stay single. And I have the Page of Pentacles. That's my friend card. You know, she wants to be a friend to you. She enjoys the friendship. I think she enjoys talking to you. And she may even enjoy flirting. But she doesn't want it to go beyond that. That's what I got. That's what I got, Kyle. We are on Kyle, Robert. We're on Kyle. That's what I got, love bug. That's what I got. Let's read your second question. Let's read your second question. Let's look at the nonprofit. What about the nonprofit? What about the nonprofit between Daniel and Kyle, the Aquarius Taurus duo? What about the nonprofit? What about the nonprofit? Tell me about the success of this. Tell me about the success. Can you speak to the success of this nonprofit? Can you speak to the success of this nonprofit, please? Between Daniel and Kyle. Daniel the Aquarius and Kyle the Taurus. Tell me about this nonprofit. Tell me about this nonprofit. Chariot, the Sun, the Ace of Pentacles. There's success here all day long. You got some really good success cards. Let me read. I'm gonna also, what I'm gonna do, Kyle, is I'm gonna drill down on Daniel. Let me drill down on Daniel and Daniel's energy about this nonprofit. Give me Daniel. Give me Daniel on this thing. I think this is moving fast. The formation and startup of this thing, I kind of get that, whether you realize it or not. I see fast movement, and I definitely see major success on the thing. Give me Daniel. Give me Daniel on this nonprofit. Give me Daniel specifically. Give me Daniel's energy specifically on this thing. Give me Daniel's energy specifically on this thing. Page of Cups. Chariot again. Why is the Eight of Swords here? Four of Pentacles. Seven of Cups. The Aquarius is Aquariusing. Sometimes, let me talk to you as a Gemini, and I know I'm not an Aquarius, but I kind of know Aquarian energy. I might or might not have a friend or two that has an Aquarius placement somewhere significant in their chart. Steph. Aquarians, Aquarians roll different. They do life different. They do business different. They do romance different, and they do life different. And for people who are different than they're different, it can be off-putting. It can be unsettling, okay? And Aquarians can even be aloof. Aquarians can even be aloof. And the fact that, and when you said, I feel left out of it, I kind of wondered, I'm like, is this Aquarius just being an Aquarius, or is there something to this? Okay. I think the Aquarius is just being an Aquarius. I think the Aquarius is in their head about this thing a lot, not uncommon. You know, air signs, particularly Gemini and Aquarius, Virgo will do this too, because Virgo is Mercury ruled. Those are your overthinkers of the zodiac. Okay. The overthinkers would be Aquarius, Gemini, and Virgo. Okay. And Aquarians they'll get so much in their head. They'll get so much in their head that they can seem aloof. And it can be unsettling if you're not kind of used to their rhythm. is the best way to do it, right? Um, and so, hey, finest Jim, how are you? And so it can be off-putting. I think that this thing looks good between you two. I would just say this: maybe some conversation with Daniel would give you some clarity, because I think Daniel is all on board with the whole thing and with you and all of that. I think you guys just may have different styles, and that's okay. It can work, okay? It can work and it can go well, but I feel like you guys just need to learn to open up to each other more. All right. I will say this: I find Aquarians, for them, I mean, there's exceptions to every rule. Are there asshole Aquarians? Yes, there are. The ones that I know are pretty reasonable when you approach them and say, "Hey, what are you thinking? What are you doing?" If you don't understand, right? And they'll talk to you, right? They'll talk to you. The fact that you're dealing with an Aquarius in business is going to be easier to bridge that gap. If it were romantically, it might be a little different, okay? But I think that's a gap that is, I think you can navigate that. I think you can navigate that. But, it's kind of interesting because you got two very different energies here. Aquarians they are ruled by Uranus, okay? And Uranus turns over the tables. Uranus asks why. They're going 90-0. Aquarians are always 10 steps ahead of, I hate to say it, everybody's going to get mad at me, but it is what it is. Up here in their brain, they're 10 steps ahead of everybody else, right? And they don't mean to be, but their movement and their pace it can feel erratic because that's Uranus, and it can feel unsettling, but it's also, they're really, really smart people. And so then you have Taurus, and Taurus, one of their biggest needs is stability, okay? And feeling like, I know where I stand, I know where we're going, I feel okay, let's proceed. And neither one of those approaches is wrong, but it can be challenging between the meshing of those two energies, right? But yeah, I do find Aquarians to be approachable. I definitely do. So I think that might be some of the challenge here. You let me know if that makes sense to you, Kyle. And I hope all of this has given you some clarity. And next up, we've got Nina. Well, that's your choice. That is definitely your choice, and I honor your right to choose your, nobody has to be your enemy. Just because you're a Taurus doesn't mean Aquarius has to be your enemy. That's your choice. I have a Taurus stellium, so in many ways I'm a Taurus. And yeah, they're some of my favorite people. That makes sense to you? Okay, good. All right. Steph's going to lose sleep over that one. All right. Hey, Robert, if you're here, I'm going to go on and I'm going to mark everybody sold out. And I'll read for you, Robert, if you want, after Nina. Let me know. Okay, that's a better one. I don't understand them. That's okay. That is absolutely okay. You don't have to understand them. That's okay. And they don't even have to be your favorite zodiac sign, right? That's okay too. He looks out for me, but other times I'm like confused because it would be like he kind of left me out, but it may be just unintentional. I would be willing to bet, based on what I saw, Kyle, I think it is unintentional. And, Aquarians, Geminis are fast movers in general. They move through life fast and erratic, right? And it can be confusing to people sometimes. I will admit that. I'm a Gemini, and I will admit that, right? I often move through life fast myself, and it can be off-putting. I have a Taurus daughter, which is very interesting, right? Hey, Jada, I just marked everything sold out, my love. I am, but Jada, you can book a reading with me. You can book a regular reading on my website if you want. Yeah, I got you, Robert. I got you. Let me put you after Nina. Nina has one question, Robert, so just so you kind of know for judging time and stuff. Yes, Aquarians can be like a wild card, right? Definitely. Yes. All right, Jada. Definitely. Most definitely. All right. So, Nina, let me timestamp for Nina Bina Bobina. Thank you, Jada. That makes me happy. Thank you for that. All right, so Nina says, Nina is a Pisces who's coming toward me with a genuine love offer. Any idea of when this could be? We can't answer when. You know that, right? You've read the directions, so we can't tell you when. The cards just do not have a calendar, right? There's no dates and times and all that on cards. And a psychic could tell, a good psychic could tell you when, but that's just not something that I do with tarot divination. That's a different type of divination than tarot, which is why I have that disclaimer in the description on readings. But, and you also ask the person's star sign. I'm going to give you characteristics, is what I'm going to give you, of who might come towards you with a love offer. All right. I'm going to give you characteristics. All right. I'm more focused on that than I am their star sign, because quite honestly, their sun sign, star sign, that tells you so little about a person. Really, really does. That is, I'm going to tell you, I've delved a lot into astrology, Nina. Hey, Ms. Z. And the more I learn about astrology, the more I learn that the sun sign, they don't tell you nothing about what to expect with that person. Not only that, it's definitely not going to tell you the type of person they are, whether they are a person who has self-awareness, emotional maturity, emotional integrity. All right. That's going to be much more important than their sun sign. So I'm not even going to focus on the sun sign, but what I am going to do is look at traits for you of who might come toward you. Bear in mind, Nina, I know you're on a healing journey, and this is going to pick up current energies of, if you were to put yourself out there, what you would likely experience. So just know that, all right? And I happen to know you're on a healing journey because you and I have talked individually, right? So let's take a look, Nina. What can Nina expect if she puts herself out there as far as love? So I have the Knight of Cups in the reverse that flipped over, all right? That can mean a number of different things, but it's not the best energy, right? What can Nina expect in love? 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 What can Nina the Pisces expect in love? So we have the Five of Wands in the reverse. We have the Nine of Wands. And we have the King of Cups in reverse. So right now what this is telling me is this. The Nine of Wands suggests that is a repeating pattern, Nina, all day long. So literally what this is telling me is expect if you put yourself out there right now, you're still energetically attuned to experience whatever you most recently experienced, literally. The Five of Wands in reverse, that can just speak to there not being anything out there that, yeah, Ten of Swords, all right? You're just energetically not ready, baby girl. I'm gonna tell you this. First of all, I don't see a genuine love offer. I saw the opposite with the Knight of Cups here in the reverse. So, and I know you said who's coming towards you with a genuine love offer. Right now, nobody. You have experiences that you can absolutely have if you put yourself out there. But because you're still not fully worked on through a lot of these wounds that we talked about, okay, you're going to repeat absolutely everything that you had before. You're still in that vibration with the Nine of Wands here. And sometimes I know that's hard to see, but what I get is this. I get this right here, the Four of Cups. Possibly you being taken for granted, experiencing rejection. We have abandonment right here, fears of abandonment, fears of being alone, okay? And I think what's driving you with these nines coming out like this, okay? I think what's driving you is your aversion to being alone. And I even got that with the Hermit card. I think you're afraid to be alone with yourself. I think you're not comfortable being single. I think you're afraid of staying alone. And I think that's going to push you right into the arms of someone who is going to do the exact same thing to you if you don't listen. That's what I got, Nina. And I love you. I love you. I think you're a darling, darling person. You know that. And you know the reason I'm talking to you in very direct language is because I love you and I want you to hear me. Because the last thing I want to happen to Nina or anybody else that views me or is a client of mine, I am advocating for you, and I am absolutely what's the right word I'm looking for? Really telling you, do not put yourself out there. I don't want to see you get hurt and come back to me like many people do in your shoes right now. I can't tell you the number of times I've had this happen, and 6 months later somebody in says, Auntie Karen, you were right. I'm really ready to get serious about healing now. I wouldn't listen to you. And I went out there and I got my heart busted up. I don't want to see that happen to you. I can't stop you, you know. But that's where you are, Nina. That's where you are. That's where you are. Hey, grateful lady, how are you doing? I hope that helps. I hope that helps. But you got to heal. There's just no shortcuts. It takes a lot of time and a lot of work. And I can tell you that if you had been working steadily since the last time you and I met on your healing journey, that's not enough time to get the work done that you need to get done. That's what I got. Yes, yes. So, grateful lady, if you're interested in the Libra reading, I did an all signs earlier today. This is paid mini readings, and if you're interested in that, you can check that all signs. In fact, I'll go grab the link for you, and you can check it out. You're welcome, Nina. I appreciate you so much. I want you to know that I tell you this stuff because I love you, and I want to see you have good life experiences. So, grateful lady, there is the link for the video, for the reading that I did earlier today. And underneath the video, you'll see the timestamps there for Libra and like all your placements. I hope that helps you. All right, Mr. Robert. Robert is up. sweet. How sweet is that? Thank you so much. Yeah, we're ready for you, Robert. We are ready. So whenever you want to go for it, let me know. Just shoot me your questions and we'll go from there. Robert, did you send me a thingy? Did you send me a thing? If you did, I didn't get a notification, but that's not the first time. Wait a minute. No, that's from Steph. But let's see here. There is a lady named Marcia. I really don't like her at the job. I really don't like her. She stabbed one of my friends in the back to become the HR director, and she doesn't want to report to me. I think they're going to make her the director. Just want to see what you see with her long-term at the company that we work for. I don't like the way she did my friend. Very insubordinate. They were going to put HR under me, and I told them to let it report to somebody else because I don't think Marcia wants to report to me. What's going on with this heifer? Let's find out. Let's find out, Robert, man. Tell me about Marcia. She's very insubordinate. That is so, man. I can't believe you told him to put her under somebody else. You should have put her under you and made her do right. Tell me about Marcia as it relates to Robert. Tell me about Marcia. I didn't timestamp for you, Robert. Tell me about Marcia as it relates to Robert. Tell me about Marcia as it relates to Robert. Tell me about Marcia as it relates to Robert. You did? Okay. You did, didn't you? You did. That is so weird. That is so weird, isn't it? All right. Don't worry about it, Robert. I know. We good. We good. Tell me about Marcia as it relates to Robert. Tell me about Marcia as it relates to Robert. Tell me about Marcia as it relates to Robert. Tell me about this heifer named Marcia. Marcia. Tell me about Marcia. Tell me about Marcia. Tell me about Marcia. She's going to get exposed. She's going to do something that embarrasses herself. Why is the Wheel of Fortune here in the reverse? She may not be there forever. In fact, I think she's a short timer. She may not. I think she's oblivious to that. Here's what I get. She's going to open up in front of the wrong person. She's gonna show her true colors. This is what I'm getting here. In front of the wrong person. And I think she's going to get canned. I'm getting 5 of Pentacles here. All right. Yeah, she's going to the ground. I get that she's going to get that in that role where she's got some authority. This is her demise. And look, I got this. That was all on that Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. And that came after the exposure. She's going to show her true colors. All right. You're not the only one that's going to see what she's about. I don't think she's going to be there. I think she's going to get canned. And I don't think she's going to see it coming. I think it's going to take her by surprise with that Tower card. I think she's going to get canned. I absolutely do, Robert. I totally do. I absolutely see it. I absolutely do. I think she is going to get canned in the and I do not think she sees it coming. And it's going to be her own bullshit. All right. Well, and I hate that for your friend. I really do. But she's out. She's out. She's gone. And she's going to do it to herself. I literally get her doing something dumb. I get her doing something shady and getting it could be this thing. I don't know. Something gets exposed. And what is it? What is it? What is it that happens here? But she gets caught doing something shady. There's something sneaky or shady that she does that is sneaky or deceptive with that Seven of Swords in the reverse. Robert, could she be on the take with money? Is she in a position where she could be on the take? Like, in other words, could she mess with the payroll records or something like that and doctor her check or something? You tell me if that's a possibility. It's either her or somebody. But I get something to do. Maybe she takes things in other ways. I don't know, but there's something here that I think she's going to be found out to be on the take. That's what I get. King of Pentacles in reverse. In fact, let me tell you, Robert, I'm going to be real with you. I heard that she's on the take before I ever threw a card, because I said, what is the Seven of Swords? I was like, what is it that she gets caught doing? And I'm sitting here going, surely she doesn't have access to the payroll stuff as HR, because that's, you and I both know, that's an internal control thing, right? For HR to be where they can, change payroll numbers. That should be a separate function, right? For purposes of segregation of duties, right? We're talking accounting terms now, Robert. But at any rate, there's something that has to do with her having her hand in a place that she doesn't need her hand into. And sometimes that can happen in smaller companies. It becomes where, but hopefully, but that's where you have like mitigating stuff. And it may be you that finds it. Since you're the finance guy, it may be you that finds it. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if it is you that finds it. Because you're that man that would. You're in the position of the one that would. Damn! That's what I think. And I think you're going to go to the powers that be and say, look, and you're going to have your receipts and your documentation and your charts and your graphs like a good Gemini CPA would. That's going to be that. And she don't see this coming. She does not see this coming. All day long. That's what I got. Well, I see her being out on the street. That's for sure. I mean, metaphorically, maybe not literally, right? She's a mess, yeah. But I thought, how can HR be on the take? And I said, well, maybe there's not a segregation in the area of payroll. Let's look at question 2. Janika, is she getting ready to leave movement? Give me Janika's plans with movement. 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 Give me Janika. She's thinking about it. She's thinking about it. And you need to watch her. You need to watch her. I'm gonna put those back. She's definitely thinking about it. I get that she may leave you guys in a lurch. She may leave you guys in a lurch, and it may be something as simple as like not working a proper notice or something like that. But there's something about fairness here and doing the right thing. That's the issue with the way she does it. She's definitely thinking about leaving. Tell me more. Tell me about Janika. She's definitely looking at other options. I don't think she has fully made up her mind yet, but she is definitely exploring options, all right? Tell me more. She's wrestling with this. She is wrestling with this. Here's her issue. She wants to make a move. She's afraid about taking a leap into the unknown. But I think she's going. I think she ends up going. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. I keep getting this, Robert. I think the way she leaves is going to leave you guys in a lurch. In some way. That's what I get. That's what I get. So let me know if that kind of spoke to what you were looking for regarding Janika. But yeah, she's I think she's gonna leave y'all in a lurch. It may be like not a good notice, or I don't know. I don't like that. Her friend is the CEO of the company, and I think her friend KTT, who is the CEO, is about to get fired. So I think she's looking. Okay, yeah. It makes sense. She only wanted to be there because of that. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I get. So I would say this: if you have any input, circling the wagons on as much as you can to try to prepare for that, for Janika's leaving you guys in a lurch, probably would be a good idea. I figured that's what you meant. I figured you meant CEO. Speech to text. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. But yeah. So I would say that would be a good one to circle the wagons around if at all possible. Three, future at movement. And Garrett. Let's see what's up. Let's see about your future. at movement and with Garrett. Give me movement. Robert's future at movement and the connection with the boss. What's the vibe with the boss, Garrett? Give me Robert's future at movement. Give me Robert's future at movement. Give me Robert's future and movement, and then also the vibe between him and the boss, Garrett. Let me see what I got. Robert's future at movement. And in the connection with Garrett, the boss. What? Why are they doing this? Robert, why are they putting more work on you and not paying you for it? Why are they giving you, I get them trying to put more responsibility on you, more tasks, more responsibility, and not making it right financially. What? Are you kidding me? What about Garrett? What about Garrett? Garrett looks like he's being very cautious and timid at first. Cautious, reserved, timid. Okay, Nine of Swords, Four of Pentacles, Judgment card. He may be a little bit guarded around you at first. He is slow to trust people. He is slow to trust people. He will come around. He will come around. He's slow to trust, but he will come around, okay? But I get them trying to give you more work and not really taking care of you financially. Fuck that. Why do I get something about being patient? Why are you, okay, I want to delve into that, Robert. Why are you saying for him to be patient? My cards have said that twice. Be patient. Why? Be patient. Why? Okay, good. That's Garrett. Okay. Good. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Why are you telling me to tell Robert Seven of Pentacles and Temperance card? Why are you saying that? Why? Why? Why are you telling me that? Why are you saying that? Why are you telling Robert to be patient? And have faith with the Temperance card. Be patient and keep your faith. Jonathan! Hey, bud. What's up? Ace of Wands. There's the promotion. Wait. Somebody, who's leaving? Who's out the door, Robert? Who's out? Somebody's out the door. Be patient. Things are going to get a lot better. Your opportunity there. You've got an opportunity for something that you don't, maybe, I think, well, I got the promotion. I see what you're saying here. Is there something else that could happen? Is Garrett going to be a short timer? Somebody's leaving. There's a decision that's already in the works. And this is going to work to your favor. All right? Right here. This is going to work to your favor. I don't know that Garrett's going to be there. You may end up leading this place. I'm telling you. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if there's going to be a. I don't know if there's going to be a where it flows down and there's several people that bump up when this one goes, but I absolutely get that there's something in there that there's somebody leaving, and as a result, you get a new opportunity and better pay. But I think that's going to be after that person leaves or as a result of it. Major shakeup. We've been saying that about movement. We've been saying that about movement. And I believe it. Would you say could be him too? Yeah. 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 I don't know if it's him or KTT that I see, but there's somebody on the door, out the door, and as a result, you get a bump. I don't know if they get canned or if they leave. I kind of think they could leave with the Eight of Cups. I think it's somebody leaving in, like by their decision. So we may be talking about KTT. Yes, you are going to do well there. I definitely see that. I think there's more financial news that you don't have yet that's going to be better than what you told me in the chat. All right? I think there's even better news than what you said. I think it's going to be more than what you think it is. And I think it's going to be a higher position than what you think you've got coming. Or what you know of, if that makes sense. I think there's enough. I agree with what you're saying. There's a promotion and that money that you mentioned, okay? But I also feel like there's another one. That's what I saw in the cards, Robert. That's what I saw in the cards. So, yes. Jonathan, how you doing? It's good to see you. So, absolutely. Let's see. Let's look at Digital Harbor. Let's look at Digital Harbor. Let's look at Digital Harbor. Let's check in on the energies with Robert at Digital Harbor. Robert at Digital Harbor. Give me Robert's future. And you too. I'm glad when you check in, Jonathan. You make my day. Give me the future for Robert at Digital Harbor. Give me the future at Robert, at Digital Harbor for Robert. Digital Harbor Foundation. Give me Robert's future there. Give me Robert's future at Digital Harbor. Give me Robert's future at Digital Harbor. Give me Robert's future at Digital Harbor. Here's the thing. Here's what I get. I think with this company, it's going to be very important to be your own advocate as far as money, position, all of that. I think this is a company that you can do well, okay? It is going to require you to demand it, or, really be like, look, I bring a lot to the table here, because I think if given the opportunity, I think this company would take advantage of people. I literally have some cards of that nature that came out. And then I have the Hermit in reverse, and I have the Temperance card, and I have the Queen of Wands. So I think you can be successful. Okay, and I even have the devil card, and the devil card in the advice is kind of interesting. You know, the devil card is in the advice is a little different. All right, in the advice, the devil card is like speak your truth and let the chips fall where they may. And you know, the devil card is about looking out for yourself, and this is one where you're going to have to be that way. I think you can be successful there, and I think that's how it's going to happen. I don't think they're going to serve it up on a silver platter. I think it's there. Let me know if that makes sense to you for DHF. Yeah, I get you moving up. I get you climbing. I get you climbing there. But you're going to have to advocate for yourself. That's what I got. Seems like that's kind of more common than not these days, right? But that's what I got, Mr. Robert. That's what I got on Digital Harbor. That's right, Jonathan. Jonathan, I don't know if you were here earlier. I was talking about Aquarians earlier. In a good way, of course. You know I like Aquarians. I vibe with you people. I vibe with Aquarians. That's right. Get that money. Get that money bag. We're okay. Listen to you. It's funny. Robert, you awake? You still with us? I'm getting hungry, y'all. I didn't eat very much. I ate just really like a few bites of my dinner. I didn't have much of an appetite earlier. Like, I don't feel bad. I just didn't have an appetite. I was kind of really heavily focused on a particular topic, and I didn't have much of an appetite. I was kind of keyed up, and so I didn't eat. So I need to settle down after many readings and go in there and eat because my tummy's talking to me. Sometimes Robert falls asleep. He goes to sleep earlier than I do. And he always tells me if I don't answer you back in a couple of minutes, it's because I fell asleep and you can get me the next time, which I will definitely do, Robert. Um, yeah, I've got I made myself, Jonathan, I made myself a beef veggie stew yesterday. And so, I like having that left over for a couple of days because, you know, especially like on a mini reading day because I'm always busy and I don't have a lot of time and I can just run in there and heat it up and it's something that's nourishing. But I just didn't eat and I don't know why because it's good. Robert's dreaming about that promotion, right? I think he's passed out. I just texted him. I think he's passed out. I'll give him a couple more minutes. Let's sit here and vibe. But how's life with you, Jonathan? I'm glad to see you. You doing all right? Up in there in that. How are things at the Big Apple? I heard you guys have had major changes over the past couple of years. The whole vibe. I don't know. That's just what I've heard. You know, I visited there in 2022 and had a blast. I loved it. I loved it. I loved the Big Apple. It was just magical. It's just magical there. Loved, loved, loved it. Pretty good. And then after that, I had a couple of beach vacays, and I've got a cruise vacay this year. So we're heading south this year. Lots of rain lately. Here too, we've had thunderstorms every day, Jonathan. It's been annoying. But I've got a cruise coming in December, so me and the fam are going on a cruise in December. It's fun out here for going out. Yes, yes, oh yes. There is no place like the Big Apple for sure. But I'm excited about this cruise. We're going in December, and I can't wait. So excited. I know, right, Jonathan? I can't wait. I'm super excited. Super, super excited. In other news, Jonathan, my baby girl, who is not a baby anymore, she's 21 and she's adulting. I'm so proud of her. She's away at college. She's doing college, and she's doing so beautifully. She's just making her mama proud. She's about 3.5 hours. She's in Tuscaloosa at the University of Alabama, and she's making her mama proud. She's doing the adulting thing just beautifully. Yeah, the December one, yeah, we're going to the Caribbean. And this will be my 4th Caribbean cruise. It's been a minute since I've cruised, though. And I've cruised on 3 different lines in the past, and I had good experiences with all 3 of those. I've cruised on Royal Caribbean, I've cruised on Princess, and I've cruised on Norwegian, and I loved all of them, but by far my favorite is Royal Caribbean, so we're cruising on Royal Caribbean in December. I hope so, Jonathan. I hope. I'd like to think I had a little something to do with that. She sends me pictures, of campus life, and so that's nice. I enjoy that. She stays in touch with her mama, and I miss her, but I'm glad she's doing good. She is going, Jonathan. She is absolutely going with us in December. So, can't wait for that. Can't wait for that. Excited for that, for sure. We're doing the whole snorkeling and all that stuff, right? All the fun stuff. I do, don't I? That's that Pisces. Your Pisces moon is showing. You're catching all the nuances, right? But yeah, she is. That's my heart right there. My heart is 3.5 hours from me right now, walking around somewhere in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. She's probably at home at the moment, or at her home in Tuscaloosa, right? She's got some really good roommates this year, so that's good. And so very excited, very Piscean, yeah. But that's your moon, right? So it's funny, the people that I know that have Pisces moons, they are very Piscean on the inside, like they feel it. But if you haven't, depending on their sun sign, you don't always see it, like in interacting with people with Pisces moons. It's like I know it's there, but I don't see it. I know it because you've told me, but like it doesn't come off. Like you come off more Aquarian, right? Oh, you're a Pisces rising. Okay, yeah. And you're a Sag moon. Okay. All right. I gotcha. Well, that's a mix. You're Pisces on the outside. Okay. And then Aquarius sun and Saggy on the inside. Saggy in the feels. Saggy in the feels. Saggy in the moon, the emotions, right? That's funny. So you probably, if you have any friends or otherwise that are Saggy suns or Saggy risings, you probably love being around Saggy suns and Saggy risings because they make you feel comfortable. To struggle, yeah. That's a lot of, that's like all over the place, right? That's a lot. That's tough. I feel you though, Jonathan. And here's my own chart is very like it's all over the place because I've got this Gemini energy, right? And in the sun and the rising, and then I have Capricorn moon, which in and of itself is like so vastly different. But then beyond that, I'm all water. My entire chart is water, water, water. Gemini and Libra. Yeah, and you would like Geminis and Libras and Leos, given your Sag. You would vibe with those folks, people that come in Leo, Gemini, Libra. You would vibe with those folks. You definitely would. That would make sense. And maybe other Aquarians. Maybe other Aquarians. You probably are going to go with more of the mutables, though, which would be, like Gemini, Sag, and then even Libra, because Libra's cardinal, but they're not, fixed. It wouldn't shock me, though, if you didn't get along well with other Aquarians. And, for me, you like every sign. I do too. It depends on the person, right? I tend to do much better with Gemini females than I do Gemini males to date. Gemini females, I can be friends with Gemini males, but the minute they try anything else, and it's not that I don't like them, but they just always do stupid shit. But I get along very well with Geminis for friends, for sure. So, well, I think I'm going to get out of here. I think Robert has passed out. Jonathan, it's good to vibe with you. Thank you for saying hello. I appreciate you more than you can know. I think you know that. We met under some really unusual circumstances. We're both kind of in the same place, right? And somehow we became friends through that. Geminis are great talkers. Well, we talk a lot. I don't know if we're great talkers, but we do talk a lot. More of the Gemini risings. Gemini risings are your real, which I'm both. When Gemini risings are your real chatterboxes, right? It's really so funny though, Jonathan, and you probably I don't know if you know Laura Ann, she's one of my mods here. She's a Gemini, but she's so different than me because she's a Capricorn rising. She's still got that cheeky Gemini, like, she's hilarious and she is very, very smart. Oh my God, she doesn't miss nothing. But the Capricorn rising, she's more reserved. And so her humor is kind of more dry and she's hilarious. In fact, I was just texting her a second ago between, when I was talking to y'all and stuff. Gemini moons are funny. They are fun people. I like Gemini moons. I do. I don't know a lot of people with Gemini moons, but the ones that I do know, I really, really had fun knowing. I've loved knowing those folks. Yep, I'm a Capricorn moon. I'm a Gemini rising, Gemini sun, but my Capricorn is in my moon. But I'm going to get out of here, Jonathan. I'm tired and hungry. I would chat with you, but my stomach is literally going, you got to get up in there and eat. And I don't try to argue with my stomach when it's doing this. But Jonathan, thank you so much for hanging with me in general and this evening. I enjoy talking to you. 2 of my kids are Gemini moons. They are kind of hilarious. I bet they are, Daisy. I bet they are. Let me not hold you up, but yeah, I love what you do. Thank you, John. I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you for that. That means a lot. I bet your kids are fun. Gemini moons, like, their humor is They're more reserved with their humor, but they are pretty funny. They can be. It depends on their other placements, right? Hey, Ashmita, how are you doing? So, all right. Well, I'm going to get out of here, folks. Daisy Son, good to see you. Thank you for popping in. And thanks to everybody who booked mini readings. I'm going to get out of here. I love you guys to the moon and back. I'll see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.